But then the audio came out just fine. But now you touch the mic, and now the audio might be messed up because you touched the mic. And everybody knows you don't touch the mic.
I touched the mic.
Most of the time, it usually happens when I do it. It's always my mic that's always off.
No, the last time it was mine. I didn't touch it.
Did we have audio issues last time?
No, not the last time.
I feel like the last 2 episodes we've been clear and clean in our
I haven't
audio.
listened to them, so I don't know.
But are you talking about the last occurrence?
The last occurrence was mine.
I really appreciate your hat, the Browning hat.
You wish it was a Mr. Build It hat, though.
It's okay. No, it's okay. You bought one, so that's fine.
Did buy
you support the merch.
We have like 7 of them.
I
somewhere.
appreciate that. It's all coming out of.
It just matched my outfit better.
Let me ask you this: when you did buy the Mr. Build It hat, and that was really sweet of you a while ago, did you use your business money or did you use our checking account?
No, I used mine.
Oh, okay. That's because I was like, okay, why buy it if it's gone?
Inventory, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. It's nice. I don't have to keep any inventory now because I have somebody else fulfilling my merch, so I don't have to.
Yeah, it's nice for me.
Why is that nice?
Because
you don't have to. Yeah, and the boxes were getting in the way, and it's kind of obnoxious, like how to store all
just
that
the
stuff.
Shirts and the hoodies. Yeah, we just don't have enough space. If
you have to keep a size of everything: small, medium, large, extra small, extra large. You're like, dude.
Not just one, like 10 of each.
Yeah. It's super. Like I don't know how certain companies do it.
Well, they have a specific stock room. We don't have that.
Right, it's true.
And a person or 10 people who do that.
Not to mention just capital that's tied up in it. That's another thing that's kind of nice not to buy out all the inventory and hope that it all sells. And then you start figuring out this weird thing where you're like, okay, large of anything sells the most frequently.
For guys.
And then usually it's XL, I think that's next. Because what guys that wear large will do is they'll typically wear stuff that's 1XL bigger.
One size bigger.
So large and extra large are the the most popular sizes. Everything else is more like an outlier.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so strange. I know people who wear larges.
Well, you got a lot of mediums too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm just grateful.
But that was probably like girls and guys, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm. But anywho, the moral of the story is I am glad that that's part of the process that I don't have to be part of anymore. There's somebody else handling it. In fact, we have it set up where we just get on a call once a month now, and he basically checks up on me, see if there's anything else I need, and he keeps
coming
stock.
out with any more?
Yeah, there's a new version, not version. It's how I'll have a one-off thing where it says I'm not calling the guy, I'm the guy. I don't know what the name for those were. What are their specialty
shirts,
promos or something like that.
Yeah. Promo shirts.
Yeah, promo shirts. There's a new one coming out that he's still making a design. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but
is Tyler making the design?
No. These guys they're doing in-house. Yeah, so we'll see how good they are. But in terms of fulfillment, it's kind of nice. They changed the contact information now, so I don't even have to even get sent the customer service stuff. So if somebody's hey,
if they buy it,
can I get a different size? And I don't have to.
Oh, they take care of that?
They now changed it, so we don't get those emails anymore.
Yeah, I was getting those emails. I don't know why.
And you'd forward me those emails.
And I was like, well, at first I would forget about him and be like, shoot, I can't not reply, especially if somebody's like, hey, I ordered this wrong size. Can I exchange it? And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I don't.
What's frustrating too is the messages are always very sweet. They're always like, hey, I love your stuff. I've been following you since you were a small channel. Or the gals will be like, hey, my fiance loves you.
Yeah.
And then they'll say what the problem is. And most of the time it's, can I get an exchange, or the thing hasn't shipped yet?
Or is it coming?
There's never been hey, I don't like the feel on it. It's nothing like that.
It's mostly, stuff that's shipping stuff.
It's frustrating because, first of all, it kind of gives me anxiety when I get on the computer in the morning and I have 6 forwarded emails from you, from all these people with different problems, and then I have to track it and figure out what it is, and then figure out, did you see it? Did the fulfillment come? There was a period where because
it was for a while it was we were sending a couple things and they were sending a couple things, and things just got lost in
translation. Yeah. Well, in the transition, yeah, because we're transitioning. Yeah. But there's one more that's even worse. There was a weird glitch in the platform that we're using, that there are orders that say unfulfilled, and they date back to August, last August.
Oh, through Squarespace, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the ones that shoot, I can't remember. I remember seeing those, but like I remember sending those out. So it was.
Well, there was a glitch. There's for sure a glitch.
Yeah.
And tracking and stuff like that. And certain people, yeah.
And they didn't get like any tracking info, but it was sent out.
Really? I don't know. I don't know the details because it's like I said, as soon as I started transitioning to somebody else handling it, and I feel terrible when they're like, hey, I ordered it and I still haven't received it.
Exactly.
I'm like,
they ordered it like a month ago and they haven't received it. That's not fair.
this is a fan that you're like, I don't want you to.
Not want to buy my shirts. Yeah.
Right. Or just like.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, no.
It will get better.
It will get better.
Now that we kind of have the system. Before it was like we were doing the merch and then we started having somebody else fulfill half of the merch and then we were fulfilling half and that was like weird. It didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
And now it's like fully.
It's fully.
Hoodies, but those are,
Well, once we run out of those, they'll be. But it's just, it's the contact. I don't like to be reached. Yeah. I don't like to be reachable. I don't like when, like, I want to talk to brands and that's really it, you know? And even then, I'll filter through.
Nice to see those emails. Like, I just love your stuff. I love.
Those are sweet.
I've been following you for
Yeah.
so long, but it's hard to reply to all of those.
Right.
I think it's sweet to see those, but yeah, you're not going to be replying to every single.
The reason I like only talking to brands is because yes, it's whatever, but it's mostly because I could filter the emails and intentionally not reply if it's like a new company who's trying to work together and I'm like, I don't want to work with them. And because to me in my head it almost sounds weird when I go, hey, sorry, not interested. To me it's almost easier to be like, don't respond. And then usually they'll follow back up again and be like, hey, just starting to check in, hope you had a great weekend in these uncertain times, just seeing if you saw my last email. And I probably ghost maybe 10 emails like a day like that of somebody like that. But with people who are followers of my content,
You need to.
I need to because I would be such a jerk if I didn't. But anywho, long story short,
I feel the same. Like I don't, not that I get so many DMs, but I'll get some really sweet ones and like I'll see it and then because I am sifting through so many, I'll forget to go back and reply because I like to look through them all first.
Yeah.
And then I just don't reply. So sorry.
I have a
I'm so terrible.
I have a systematic approach. As soon as somebody starts out with a lengthy email and it starts out the same way, because I'll skim the first couple of sentences about like, hey, love your content, been a fan of your stuff for a while. And then the next couple of sentences is the big deciding factor whether or not I'm going to reply. And that's where they're painting me a picture of a project that they're working on. And I'm like, I can't do this, dude. Like, you can't expect me to send you back. If it's going to take me more than 3 sentences to send you back, that's not going to work.
For me, it's like mostly links and sources to stuff where I'm like.
Oh, I get so annoyed when I get those from your fans.
From mine?
Yeah, well, the people who follow both of us. Hey, could you ask your wife where she got that? I go.
Like, I think people don't realize like it's time. It's so time consuming. Today, I put together a blog post of like Memorial Day sale. It took me basically all day to do it because it's so lengthy, and then linking it through like reward style so I can get
credit for it.
Small percentage back for doing that, and it takes so long. And I think people just don't understand it. They're like, oh, just go like find the link wherever. I'm like, first of all, I have to like think about where that's from because I go through so many things a day of like where things have been purchased that I'm like, I don't.
By the way, can I say you look really good in hats? And I don't know why you don't wear hats. Like the hats that you wear, I think are very rare that you do. Like you'd wear a hat. I think the only time I've really seen you wear hats is like when you go for a run, and you wear this like dorky pink, like running material one.
Because it's like really light.
Yeah, I get it. Practical. You look good in hats, and you're like
I never wear them.
you need
I think I just don't like.
Because you're always dressy. That's why.
Maybe. I'm never like cash. I'm cash today.
You're cash today.
See, that's why I don't wear
You're
hats.
touching the microphone. Don't touch the mic. But go ahead. So.
Yeah, I just it was just going back to people I think just don't realize how long that stuff takes to like find sources or to reply back to like, what do you think about this? What should I do in this space? It's kind of like, I want to help you, but like I have 1,000 things to do, and there's just.
And that's not the first DM asking you that.
And there's like at least however many a day, but.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's
It's fine.
We're here. Thanks for the support. I am proud of you that you're after our conversation about the shift in your approach. I don't know, day-to-day business. I don't know what you want to call it. Design, focusing more design and social. I'm really proud of you. I saw that you did this fancy blog post and like you're getting after it. You learned a feature on Instagram of how to screen record.
No, that's not even on Instagram. It's literally through the phone.
Through the phone?
Yeah.
There's a feature you can do screen record on the phone. Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
You go to your control panel and you there's a little.
What's a control panel on the iPhone? Isn't it?
I had to Google it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I Googled how do you take a video of your screen on your iPhone, and then it told me.
Really?
Because I see people doing Instagram all the time. They'll do a little screen video, and I'm like, that is so cool. How do you do that? So I just Googled it.
Jeez.
Now I know.
I got to look it up. I've learned how to do that on the computer maybe a couple of months ago. I'll see people do
the day I learned how to screenshot of the screen on my computer was
Oh, you mean Command Control 3? Yeah. I do. That's 4. You can do 4.
Mine is 3.
Yours is 3.
That was the best day of my life.
Yeah. Because you no longer have to right click on the image or something like that. But the good. Screen recording on the you scrolling through a browsing a website on a computer. That's the day that changed my life when it comes to working with brands. So when they'll the brand will send me this list of bullet points I need to talk in the next 60 to 90 seconds for this ad read.
So much easier with pointing.
But the thing is you could stand in front of the camera and talk for a minute and a half, or you can start You can start in front of the camera and only talk in front of the camera for 20 seconds, and everything else is just a screen recording of you browsing through their website and the things you kind of picked out, and you send it to them and they love it. So I did that with Squarespace. Squarespace, the whole thing was Squarespace.
Yeah, because it's an internet, platform, website platform.
Right.
So it's might as well show it on the computer versus just talking about it.
Well, even right now, we just did an ad read for Bloomscape, which is the thing that you can just order all the plants online, your pots and the soil, and plant everything at home. So you don't have to basically go to the stores to go get it. And it was me basically going, sponsor today's video, Bloomscape, and then really quickly say what it is in 15 seconds. And then the rest of the footage is me screen recorded, just scrolling through a website, picking out all the stuff, putting it in my cart.
Well, because then people can practically see.
And it's practical and it's easy. So those screen recordings, once you learn
now you can do it on your phone.
You have to show me. That sounds a really
It's actually really easy.
Yeah.
Because now it's you put it in your control. This is your control panel.
The one you swipe down?
This is your control panel.
Okay.
Now it's in here, and it's a little recording
thing.
You
add it into it.
You add it into it. And then
where do you find it? Do you add it?
It's in your...
settings?
Okay, guys, if you don't know how to do this, I'll show you.
Okay, this is the first time ever you guys are getting a tutorial on a podcast. And
I know.
If 90% of the people are only listening to podcasts,
sorry,
this should encourage you. Well, there's nothing we can show.
Okay, so go to your settings on
your iPhone. If you have an iPhone, settings.
Go to control panel, control center. And then down here, there is where you can add more controls. It says screen recording.
Oh.
So you add it right here. Press the plus. Now it's in your control center. So when you swipe down, it's right there. 3, 2, 1.
And so now
it's recording. And you can know it's recording because it goes like that. Blah, blah, blah. You go to your Google. And then you click this, stop, and it saves it to your photos.
Photos. Sweet.
Isn't that awesome?
That is really cool.
So, little tutorial for you.
And that is the end of our podcast, guys. Yeah. We're just gonna start. All of our episodes should just be little tutorials.
Honestly, it's so dumb because you can literally Google anything. I don't know why it's taking me this long to figure that out.
Do you know? And I know what you mean about why does it take you this long to figure this out. First of all, that's probably a little bit more complicated than what I'm about to tell you of how to do a recording of your computer screen. You know that one of those applications that you legitimately never really use is that QuickTime player, media player on your Apple, right? So you just have to open it where it's in your docking station down below on the screen. By the way, this is the nerdiest podcast ever.
We're so nerdy today.
This is the Geek Squad from Best Buy. If your computer's not,
we're gonna be reviewing the iPhone 12.
I'll show you guys how to get your internet that is not working well, how to kind of restart your router. Close it.
Turn it off.
Turn off. Close all your windows. Turn it off.
Oh man.
Unplug it. Wait 60 seconds. Plug it in.
This is actually if you're in any kind of the social media space, this is a gem.
This is life hacks for sure. This is social media hacks for sure. I do think this is actually valuable for people to be
it was very valuable.
So
this is awesome.
So this is how much more simpler it is. So the QuickTime thing. So you go to the application, you click QuickTime, and all it does is because no video is playing, it just pulls up on your bottom of your docking station, right? Here's all you do. You right click on that icon and hit screen record. And then you trace out, kind of like when you do Command Control 4 or 3, you crop the section of your browser,
you can crop with this too.
hit start record, and that's it. And then at that point, hit your space bar, stop record, you're done. It saves onto your desktop. The simplest little things, but they go a long, long way.
They go a long way. And they make your life easier, because now I'm like, I can just like show, okay, what's on our blog post today, and I just scroll through it, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Okay, so this will kind of paint the picture. This is what I mean. We never really plan out our podcast, so this is where it goes. So if we're here already, I know, and I was kind of boring. It was boring when we planned them out.
Because we had to like
do homework.
Not only do homework, but we had to think about what else we could talk about within that theme, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But now we can we just go.
Yeah, rabbit hole, whatever the wind takes.
Sometimes we start a sentence, we don't know where it's going, but we hope we figure it along the way.
Michael Scott. So I guess we'll focus on like hacks, tips, and tricks that helped us out on our social media.
Oh yeah.
I think that's pretty useful. Okay, so we'll go back and forth. So you mentioned one about recording screen. I shared this one. I'll go here on the next one, and you can think. I'll give you some time to think about the next thing. So one of the things that I use on the daily basis is posting images on my Instagram feeds. Okay, so before there was this process where yes, you take a picture. And then I can maybe share later how I take my pictures of like if I'm always doing video. But you'll take the picture and you're like, this is gonna be my post, and then you'll spend like almost an hour editing that picture, right? The lighting, the hue, whatever. But one of the hacks that has really helped me was first you need to download Lightroom on your computer. I usually do on computer. There's an app on your phone. I don't like it that well. But my order of operation
Computer's the best, but I actually do like it as an app on the
iPhone. Well, I think this particular hack of mine or my daily application doesn't really work with it because it has a preset. So there are presets that you can buy or make, but most of the time you buy it because you saw a professional create it. Yeah, usually it's a professional that did it, right? Like, so with me, I follow Peter Mckinnon, who's a photographer, YouTuber, and he's incredibly good, and his YouTube channel is ginormous. So I would almost say he's primarily a YouTuber who shows how to do. I don't even know if he's a photographer. I think he's a videographer, photographer, YouTuber. Like, just like he's dominated that space. Anywho, he created because all of his videos, they're all color corrected perfectly, and his images are awesome. He created these presets that you can buy, right? They call them LUTs, L-U-T-S. But these presets, these color correction presets. So once you pay for it, I think I paid like dirt. I think I probably paid like under $50 for like 10 presets. And I really only like for my style, only one particular preset.
But
and so,
really well.
And so I'll take a picture. I can do it with my cell phone. I could do it with a DSLR camera, which I usually do. And I'll obviously crop it to a 1x1 or whatever. But anywho, I'll take that picture and I'll throw it onto Lightroom, and I'll just click that preset. Whatever the picture is, I just hit that preset, that exact one that I always use, and I just increase the texture and increase the exposure just a little bit. It keeps the preset as is, everything else. And then I export it to my phone. And in fact, on Photoshop, or not Photoshop, is it Photoshop? Yeah. You can actually click just share, and you don't have to save it to your computer, but share it to your phone right away, AirDrop. And that's it. There is your Instagram ready photo that you post, and it didn't take you an hour. Start to finish, as long as you have the image, start to finish, it probably takes me no more than 5 minutes to be like, okay, we're ready to write a post about this.
Yeah. And it's nice too because it keeps your like aesthetic all the same on your feed.
Mm-hmm.
Because all the pictures are the same editing. It's not all like weird, different. It's like the colors are kind of the same.
Correct, right? So like I always tell people, it's the first 3 scrolls of your social media page, your profile. So if somebody gets onto your profile page and and you're trying to become a air quote influencer, you want to give people value. So I always tell people, like, you got to treat it like this is a magazine, and the first couple of pages decide whether or not the person's gonna pick up the magazine, right? So you think about it. Back in the day, nobody really buys magazines anymore. But back in the day, you would pick up the magazine before you bought it. You almost flip through the thing a few times, and you see if there's a lot of pages that stick out to you. And it was your mind's it's your brain's way of like deciding in those couple of minutes, am I going to purchase this thing? And so a human being does that with social media profiles. It's the first 3 scrolls is the deciding factors whether or not I'm going to follow you. And it's not necessarily that they got onto it and now they're watching all of your posts. No.
Oh, this looks cool. Yeah. And they just follow you. They may not even like a single post that you...
But they want to see you hit their feed. You know what I mean? And so, the second thing I want to say on top of that same topic is if you're going to learn one thing about Photoshop, like you don't have to go learn how to like overlay and do all these crazy things. But if that's the world you want to get into, the like one thing you need to learn how to use on Photoshop is how to use the what's that tool? It's not the clone tool. It's the fixing tool. What's the one that's called? Like the blemish removing kind of tool. Oh. What's that called? There's a word for it. It's right next to the cloning tool. But you essentially. Well, the clone stamp I do if I need to, like if there's a grassy area and there's a ball, I need to get it out of there. It's not an airbrush, but it's like it's a Band-Aid. You'll see a picture of a little Band-Aid, but it's a healing tool. Yes, that's what and it's basically,
Actually, the Lightroom app on your phone has the healing.
Oh, does it really? I'll have to download it. So here's why you want to use it. Because, so prime example, today I posted a picture revealing that live edge slab for our island, right? Well, I'm wearing obviously pants that had paint on them and they had these little white spots all over them. And it's fine, I'm sure, if I took this picture, but you're trying to always get rid of anything that is distracting from the image. Mm-hmm. And you literally click that button on that what's it called? Healing, right? The healing, and it's just a circle, and you can make that circle big or small based off the area you're working with. And you just literally click with your mouse on every spot and blemish.
It takes an image from the other part of his pants, so like
adjacent to it. And then it will match that color.
It matches the color, which is awesome. So actually, I did that.
And it doesn't look spotty or anything. It's really good. And in fact,
it's like part of the pants.
Yeah.
It creates the same exact image. So it's like the same texture, the same color, the same like everything. It just makes it look like that blemish is gone.
If you have like a cold sore that week.
It will take like one part of your skin, and if you have like a zit, you can.
Yep. Move it. It will move it for you. Yeah.
I did that actually with when I did the kitchen sneak peek. The island, I don't know if you guys are gonna put an outlet there, but there's like wires still out of it.
No, I was gonna do like the reason the wires are hanging out there and there's no like a junction box for like an outlet plug-in. It's because I was like, I'm so sick and tired of like plugging things in. So instead, I think like a blender, we're just gonna take wires and then like hot wiring a car. We just like twist the wires on, and it's slow. I think it'd be just more fun to do.
Agree.
So that's where I came up with that. Yeah.
But when I took the picture, they were sticking out, and so I just did that same tool, and I did it in my app. Actually, it was the healing tool. I just took part of it and I like clicked on it and then took a part of the other island and it like healed that part and it was perfect because it was like, But it's just stuff. Yeah, it's fine, whatever. But when it's like an image on your feed that is supposed to be visually appealing, stuff like that kind of just like distracts. And it's not because like we want to make it look like it's perfect. It's just a little. It's sometimes, and somebody will comment on it. That's the problem. They'll be like, oh, what's that stuff sticking out of the island? Is it not finished yet?
Right. Well, but also sometimes everybody's heard the fact that like social media is not real and it's all, and I remember telling that to you when you first started. I go, it's all smoke and mirrors. You don't have to make it look like, because you tell me things like there's FOMO that you have, like somebody's doing this thing and you're not. It's like, and I would tell you, it's like, this is way back before you started your thing, but I was like, it's all smoke and mirrors, right? But it's okay if you know that it's smoke and mirrors and you almost play the game.
Play into that.
So,
and as long as you know it. I mean,
so perfection, right? I mean, there's a reason why when we go out to dinner with friends, we dress nicely. We don't dress sloppy, right? It's like everybody knows that's not what you always look like. Makeup, the dress, whatever. But you're doing that because you want to be most presentable. So same thing with this image. And so I do argue the other side of it. It's like I think if this is a path that you want to start in, like you do have to understand that a smoking mirror is all fake. It's like magic, but you have to just play the part. But you do have to make it look perfect. And if you're like, where do I find the healing tool or how to download? You can legitimately go to Google, type in how to use the Photoshop healing tool, and you will find a 2-minute video of somebody recording their screen, because now we know how to record screens, and they will walk you through. Here's the button, press it, adjust it here, and click away.
Awesome, and it's definitely like saving, because there's just some stuff, that's not finished, or you forget that it's there, or all of a sudden you take a picture and you're like, dang it, I forgot to take that out of the picture, or it's dirty or something. So there's always something, and I use it all the time.
Can I be honest with you? This is embarrassing, and I'm okay about this. Before I buzzed my head.
Did you add hair too?
I used to add hair. This is so funny. I would wear hats, and I still had hair, and I was receding down the middle. So they do
I didn't know that.
And so when the hair, if I'm sweating and my hair was in my baseball hat like this, sticking out the front because it's backwards, you could see along the sides baldness. Right now it's buzzed, so I don't care if you could see it or not. Like it's been buzzed for a while. But what I would do is when you truly notice it, I would hit the little healing tool there. Well, actually, I'd use the cloning stamp, and I'd stamp it here and stamp it there. And unless you're really staring and looking for it, you can't, because it just creates another pattern. Like that should tell you how good it is. Now I've saved myself on editing. I have to save myself so much time on editing, because now I don't have to add hair to myself anymore. Yeah, so it's a good tool. It's
never done it to myself.
You've never taken like a zit off or anything?
No, but
really?
But first of all, if you scroll through my feed, I have like one picture of myself.
That's true. So, are you gonna start doing more of you?
I don't know, maybe, or even like videos. I just don't really like it.
You should do videos.
Podcast is fine because it's like I'm not looking at the camera directly. I can barely see myself from this far away. So it's fine. But when I'm just like directly looking at myself, then I start like questioning. Oh my gosh, I don't like the way I look. I don't like my hair.
Do you know what's nice though with video is when somebody else is holding the camera, you're almost just looking at that person.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
much easier, even like this is much easier than actually holding the camera yourself.
Oh, you yourself.
About it, when you're holding it yourself, it becomes this weird, at least to me.
I have an impression of you when you, on the very rare occasion that you do a selfie video, you'll start like this. Your hair is usually here. Your hand's usually here on your hair. And then you'll go and you'll say, so, like you'll start very slow. You work up to it. And it's always either an or a so. and you can tell with your eyes that you're still trying to figure out either to look at the camera on your phone or to look at how you look in the camera.
Which I go back and forth.
But you ramp up. So like you'll start, maybe it'll be like a 2-minute story video, like over a course of a couple of frames. But you'll start out really slow until you kind of find your groove, and then that's when you'll start talking. But it's like, so, and your eyes wander, and you'll point. A lot of you have been wondering, and you'll do one of these. So, that's it. And I'm not trying to portray anything like ditzy or anything. It's not like that at all. It's just more of like you could tell you're trying to figure this out.
Because I am every single time.
Yeah.
Every time. I hate it so much.
You're focusing on like, do I look at how I like?
And that's one of the reasons I'm like, why force it when I don't like to be?
But what about flipping the camera the other way? Or but what about turning it on hands-free, standing back, take a take or two that you don't like, and then after that realize, now let's just.
But do you know how many takes I do before I actually do that one take?
A lot, really? Really?
It's bad.
You should
but see. But I just am I hate it. And I hate the way I look. And I hate the way I talk. And I'm like, why did I say that way? Why are my eyes looking that way? Why? Oh my gosh. All the things.
Do you know? And I think, so the feelings you're experiencing is not just you.
Everybody has
It's everybody. And I was actually telling this to Kyle. I was telling him, my videographer, and I was like, we need to do a bloopers reel every time I do an ad read, because I'll be like, square, like, and I'll say the F word or something like that. Like, that's crap. Shit. And then Kyle will start like laughing. because I'll also catch myself, and he'll start smirking, and as soon as he starts smirking, I break character and laugh because he's smirking because he knows that's not how I talk. Like right now, I just did an ad read for Bloomscape, like for plants and Bloomscape, and I'm talking about how great it is, but I'm reading what they wrote, and he's smirking because that's not the way my language is spoken, and so
the way you talk in your daily life.
That's and so we need to do a thing. But I will say this: so back before when I didn't have a videographer and it was me tripod recording everything, I would always say I hate everything I create because the end product was me start to finish, right? Mm-hmm. Now I can't really say that because I could only do what I do on camera, and then when he edits, it now is taken from a 3 to a 12. Like it blows up. Like he takes crap and turns it into a really good production thing. Really good. And I'm not crap at all. He turns something incredible. And to me, I'm always blown away. I was like, I thought that video was going to be a boring video because I remember there wasn't much stuff to it, but somehow he caught stuff and the way he put it together now it turned into something entertaining. So I can only speak on my behalf now. I actually love every video that comes out now, but I hate the way I am on every video. And I always tell this to him. I was like, because I hate the fact that I am using my hands a lot like this when I talk to the camera. I hate the fact that I sound like I'm holding my breath. So I'm like speaking 12 sentences with one breath. I hate the fact that sometimes when we'll break it up into quick cuts and I'm talking, my eyes will wander away. You know what I mean? Why did I say that word? Like you could be surprised if you really paid attention to my videos. It doesn't make sense. Like that's not a real word. Like I almost didn't finish a sentence.
But I think
that's what everybody does.
Going back to like, that's what makes you you, and that's what makes you unique and kind of different, right, than everybody else. I do this a lot.
Now that you say that, now what's interesting is for some reason okay, I've never seen you do that in person. That's the weird part.
The weird part is I don't do that in person.
I've never seen.
Always when I'm. Like,
is it camera pointed away from you or camera pointed at you?
I do it in the podcast a lot, I think.
I don't recall that, but for some reason, in the back of my memory, like I feel like that feels like you've done that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But it's funny because if you were to say somebody doing this, you imagine them having long nails, really long and they're just like, yeah. You know, and stilettos.
You can let us know if you've seen.
That's funny. Okay, so what else have you found that helped in social media world, like a hack or a daily thing that you do that kind of helps creating content?
Well, I think I can't really think of any like hacks.
Not hacks, but like your
But what I do a lot is
practical.
I actually really enjoy editing photos. Whenever I take like photos of something, I look forward to like sitting down and editing the photo.
Really?
That sounds really weird, but I do. I love that, like taking a boring photo, especially if it's like, oh, this doesn't. And I do everything lately with my iPhone. I used to take pictures with your camera for everything, and now the iPhone is just, I mean, the quality is just awesome. And so I just take photos with my phone and of everything now. But I will edit almost everything. I used to edit on my computer. And then put it on, like airdrop it back to my phone. But anyway, I don't do that anymore. I really enjoy editing though. So I'll take a picture, I'll upload all of the pictures in my Lightroom, and I'll actually edit like, this is what I do. I edit like 10 photos at a time in one like sitting.
So you take a bunch of different pictures of like house and stuff like that.
Yes, and I'll edit them all together. Or if it's like one room, but different angles of the room or something.
Now, one thing that's also on that same note is when editing on Lightroom, when you add them all to your workstation that you're working on, right? And so let's say you take 10 images, and you took the first image, and that's what you're working with, and you're okay, we need more exposure, a little bit more contrast, decrease the highlights, whatever.
You can copy that.
You can click synchronize, and it basically applies those exact edits across the rest of the images you created.
Or you can even hit copy, what is it, settings, and then go to your next picture and paste those settings the same. So if you want to just do it to like one single picture instead of all of them, you can do that too. It's just such a brilliant editing software. I feel like.
I can't believe she said she said software. Is that a real word? What are you crazy? What are you, Mr. Building, making up words?
Yes.
Being a real dum-dum right now.
Oh my gosh. Look at me.
Did
you just do? You smell like
I did. I was like, don't be mad at me. I'm just joking.
He knows he's going to get it later.
I know. Unless we're tired.
Yeah. You or me?
Both of us. We're in our 30s.
True. We're in our 30s and we have a
baby.
Teething baby.
Oh, gosh.
She's just playing with her
That's the hardest part.
Bottle right now. That's hilarious. Anyway, so I edited all of my photos in like one setting and I apply like the preset. I don't really use presets because I like editing myself. And so I'll do all of that myself and make sure every single picture is how I like it. And I'll actually go into Instagram and like upload all those pictures, but instead of posting them, I'll save them to my drafts. And maybe this is kind of a hack. But
where's drafts? There's no drafts folder on your phone.
Sorry, on your Instagram.
You'll save them on your Instagram?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Wait a second. No. I'm legitimately. You could upload a picture on Instagram and not post it, but hit like save. I didn't know that.
Who are
But also,
you?
why would you do that? Why not?
Because I save like 10 of them at once. That way, they're done. And then if I'm like having a day,
is there a post written too?
Yeah, you can write a post.
Have you done
literally
that?
Save a whole post. Yeah. I do that all the time. I have like maybe 60 saved in my post.
Oh, well, I was gonna find it for you. I don't know if you know where my.
Where's your Instagram?
That's what I was gonna say. Do you want me to find it for you?
Okay. If you go to a post,
okay.
Say it's this one, you hit next.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. Edit it.
That's the preset you chose? Oh wow.
And then go to this. Save draft.
Okay.
You've never done this?
No. And where do I find
right there.
it?
And you can have, and then you can manage them. And I have like probably like 80.
Are you serious?
I love it because if there's a day that I'm like, I don't have anything to post or there's nothing new, I'll go back to my drafts and like post an old picture.
But also, why not just save that one by one picture in your...
Because I have it written out and I have... Not all of them written out. But
even having more than 3 or more than 1...
But so this is another thing. I have like 15,000 photos in my photo roll. You have like 10. 10 photos. He has like no photos. That's another thing. I can't keep them in my photo roll.
I don't hoard.
In my camera roll, I have to keep them in my Instagram drafts because I have them all together versus in the camera roll, I'll have to like go through and find them.
Oh, because I think you're also synced to the cloud. So all of our family
all my stuff is in the cloud.
All the baby pictures are all there.
I think that's a brilliant feature because I then have it, or if I'm like...
I'm most afraid that thing that's going to get erased from that.
Mine has never gotten erased unless... There's only been one time when if you delete the app, why would you do that?
Well, you did it because you had a glitch in the app.
Yes. When I deleted the app, they all went away. But it's like, you can still re-upload them back up. I just like it because it's all in one area. And then I have like stuff to choose from.
Because writing at a post like of that picture...
No, I don't have posts written now. It's just all pictures.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so what I would do is I would export all these images because I'll do the similar idea I would use. So like the picture gets edited with the preset. I crop it to a 1x1, and to be honest with you, most of the time I take an image in a 1x1 anyways, whether it's on my phone or the camera. I have it preset set to 1x1 because that's what Instagram likes. And when it's edited, it's exported to my phone in the 1x1 already. I don't know what I'm going to write. If it's like 3 posts ahead, I don't know what I'm going to write that day, but
it's nice to have that picture there and ready.
Well, it's ready on my phone. Yeah. That's a nice thing.
I guess for me, it's a little bit different because for you're posting whatever next project you're working on, right?
Yeah.
For me, I like to go back and sometimes repost something like just a pretty picture of a space that I worked on, like from a while ago or whatever, so, or whatever it was 3 weeks ago. And so I like having the image back and being able to repost it. For you, it's like you're always moving forward, so you don't really repost anything, right?
I don't
anymore.
Define reposting, like
not
using
repost,
the same
but
image.
like using an image from a project a long time ago.
No, I don't.
You don't do that. Yeah.
In fact,
I do because it's just a pretty picture.
In fact, I was just talking to my guys, and I was telling them how it's the problem that I'm seeing being 3 videos or 4 videos ahead is, yes, it gives you this peace of mind where you can take some time off. But the bad part about it is you can't really promote that video. So if you did just release the demo day video, but in the project, you've already done the cabinets, which is a separate video, and you've done the countertops, which is a separate video, and you've done the plumbing, it's a separate video. You can't really create natural stories to go promote it. What you almost have to do, and this is where I'm kind of catching myself.
Stories.
I have to almost shoot video with my phone, and so I guess this will be my next. This will be my next hack. I guess that's what I'll do. This is my turn to share. I guess. What I'll do is, because that's the problem that I have. I'll get so many videos ahead.
You haven't done stories in a long time.
I don't, because I'm so many videos ahead. So now in the last week we kind of figured it out. So now what we'll do is we will, as I'm doing something and Kyle's running the camera, Tyler, who helps me build, he will take my phone and he will record me doing something, and I'll get saved to my phone. Now it gets saved,
upload it
and it gets saved in a 9:16, which is another good point. Is keep in mind, stories are done in a 9:16 layout, right? So it's shorter width, longer length, and so that content can be used for that. So if they're going to make a video, they don't hold it horizontally; they hold it vertically like you would with your phone, and that is already appropriately set up for Instagram stories. So he'll do that, and then I will not occasion. Is it? It's occasion.
On occasion?
No, but what is it? Occasionally or occasionally? It's not occasionally. Occasionally, correct? I'm making up words.
It's spelled with an O.
But you don't say occasionally.
You can.
You say occasionally.
Occasionally.
It's occasionally. On occasion.
Now you're
I know. I'm over
overthinking it.
On occasion, I would have him. If there is some kind of angle or whatever, for prime example, I was doing the drywall in that rec room, the wall putting up, and there was a cool power shot, using this drywall gun and driving the screws into the drywall. And I was like, hey, Tyler, grab my phone. It's already set up on not my phone. Grab my camera. It's already set up in a 1x1. Snap a picture. That's going to my arsenal of stuff to post. But on the side note of that, for stories, I'll also after that have him be like, hey, snap a video or 2 of me shooting this texture, and that's gonna be. So I'm almost.
That's a good idea.
I'm almost starting. I'm almost starting to create. I mean, keep in mind, I've only been doing this in the last week or so, but I'm almost creating like a separate folder on my computer where I just drop all the stuff onto, and then when we get to that project, I'll share those stories.
That's nice because you have that. Yeah.
So just kind of planning ahead.
I guess you don't think about that. It's like when you are that far ahead.
Because it's frustrating.
I forgot to. Yeah.
So it's frustrating.
The kitchen was also hard because so many things were done at the same time that you couldn't really post only one part of it without sharing.
Well, think about this, right? So, one video came out for the kitchen today, and that was the countertop video. The next video is gonna be this final video, right? But I've already started a completely different room that I'm working on, and I can't be promoting that on stories, right? Because people now are confused. Like, wait, did you give up on the kitchen?
Yeah.
Or is the kitchen
what happened? Yeah, you never shared it. Yeah. You know what? We just decided to leave it.
Yeah. So those little things they become like a problem. So so doing that, keeping things in your arsenal, saving them, pacing yourself.
Save everything.
In terms of, what else you got? What else do you feel like you use?
I'm trying to think.
Is there anything on Photoshop that you use? You use music a lot. Music, I think, is a very underrated thing. I
love using music. I think it's a great feature. I didn't have it for like years.
Which is funny. Your app, you had a glitchy version of the Gil app.
On my Instagram app that I just never had music ever since the beginning. And I remember, like, we even went to Facebook.
Well, I think you have to have an X amount of followers.
No. We even went to Facebook headquarters.
No. We got to preface
to get this fixed. Yeah.
We were such Karens that we went to.
Excuse me, Facebook.
We're knocking off.
No, we were at some kind of event, and it ended up being like at Facebook in. Was it New York City?
It was a Home Depot event.
Oh yeah, New York.
That they let me bring a +1, and I brought you.
Anyway, I know I should have.
And it was a what do they call them? A workshop meeting that they they put me in, and you're my guest, and you go, yeah, I got questions. I don't have a music feature.
They're like, anybody else have any questions? And I'm like, well, my music feature doesn't work on my Instagram account. And they're like, and they like,
who are you with?
Yeah. Who are you again? What's your handle? No, and it's funny because they didn't believe me, and they're like, well, have you tried like deleting the app and like I was like, no, I haven't. It's been 2 years.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
And I even like, so they actually took over my phone and tried to see what was wrong, and they couldn't figure it out. They're like, well, just contact customer support.
So what resolved it?
Nothing. I ended up, I reached out to you can actually, isn't there a feature where you can report a problem on Instagram? And I did that probably like 10 times, and then finally it just like showed up on my.
Do you know what I think it is? I think there's an algorithm that happens because I know Facebook will do the same thing. You'll submit a claim, and I think there's an algorithm that kicks in, like an automated thing. So like there are 1 or 2 fake accounts on Facebook portraying me. My images, reposting my stuff. It's just the Mr. Bill that is like hyphenated instead of like a dash or anything.
They can't do the same one, yeah.
So I would report it and literally click report. And then 60 seconds later, there's an answer. We examined it. We didn't see any copyright issues.
Examine it. Yeah.
No. And so I think it's a matter. And I remember somebody hijacked my Facebook account, and it was partially my fault because they kind of tricked me into like, we're partnering together on something, but I needed to give them permission. And the idiot that I am, I didn't know what I clicked, and I accidentally granted them like the what do they call it? The supreme leader authority. What do they call it? Like you're the admin. They gave him the admin authority.
Supreme leader.
And once somebody becomes an admin, they can't give it up until you email them and they go, okay, I'll give it up. But if they're like, I'm not giving it up, guess what? It's their account. So I emailed Facebook once. They said we didn't see any issues. Emailed them a second time with a sob story. Didn't do anything about it. And then finally the third time, I think I probably got somebody who just got on shift, who's fresh or something like that. Oh, yeah. You know, I was like,
yeah, it took me like 10 times.
That was a big yeah, by the way. That was a really big yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big out of the gates. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only have one good ear. I ruptured my right eardrum.
Well, I'm speaking into the bad ear.
I know. This is the good one. So I really know. Yeah,
so
I really
heard it.
I really heard it.
Well, I thought it was the opposite. So that's why I was yelling. What was I gonna say?
Yeah, so you were reaching out to them, and then
and then I have the music. Now I have the music feature, and now I'm not taking it for granted.
That's a happy ending.
Who knows how long it's gonna be there for? I feel like I was just because I've heard of people saying that they had the music feature and then it's just like went away. I'm like, how does that happen?
So explain how you use it, because I think you use it in a very good way. Like you'll walk through a house and you'll turn it on. Yeah. You know what I mean? You'll have like 7 slides.
I do feel like Instagram needs to get better at this, but what I do, and it's not even a hack, it's actually like a really drawn out process, because I'll do a video on my just phone. I don't post it directly through Instagram right away. I do a walkthrough on my phone with just my camera, and then later I'll upload it to Instagram. But each clip is 15 seconds long, and you have to splice the
song.
Splice the song in 15-second intervals. So I have to go back, because each time you upload the song, it starts in the same beginning again. So I have to go back and think. And so I actually do math. I go, okay, that clip is 15 seconds. So I have to start at the 15-second mark. Okay, the next video I have to start at the 30-second mark. In some videos...
That's cute that you call that math.
No. Well, some videos aren't exactly 15 seconds. Some
Correct.
of them are like 9 or 8 because when it uploaded them, it wasn't all in 15-second intervals. So I have to think, okay, that's 15 seconds, that's at 37 seconds. Okay, 37 seconds plus 15, that's math.
You're trying not to skip like lyrics.
Yeah.
You're so considerate on your story.
Well, you know, I do that because I want the whole song to play, because I need that whole song to play.
But what if why not just be like, okay, I skipped that one line lyric and it just jumps.
It's
an experience.
It's not seamless.
Did you know that when stories first came out on Instagram's platform, they pitched it as like you are sharing something special of your day. So what they found to happen is people would overthink it, and so they were like, well, that's not special enough for me to post. I'm not posting that. Yeah. So nobody used that feature until finally, I don't know what that name they changed.
Well, Snapchat
Snapchat.
People were like, "This is exactly like Snapchat. Why would you use it?"
So they probably And so now they're like, "I'd rather do a story of anything and everything than
everything's
because now posting a feed post has more weight to it than actually posting. Because the feed post on Instagram used to be a thing for photographers to share. And you were like hated if you used filters because the whole premise was iPhone
only.
iPhone
the hashtag.
only. Yep.
Hashtag iPhone only.
Hashtag no filter.
Yeah, no filter.
Hashtag no filter.
But it's like it's definitely evolved into something else, which is fine. I think that's just what apps do. Over time, they evolve into something else. And I've loved stories because that's stuff I can share like daily or promote or like even share links to stuff that people are asking about, and I don't want to share that to my feed.
And if you already are a content creator out there and you do have a significant following or a following that you can monetize, a little hack for you, we'll probably leave it at this, close with this, is if the budget doesn't line up, right? So let's say you only have an Instagram account and you get company pays you money to do a post, and that's why you'll see thing hashtag sponsored or hashtag ad. And they're like, oh man, they're just giving you chump change, or they're just giving you free product. And you're like, I don't want to cloud my thing with the salesy feed post, and I'm not really getting much except this product, and I don't want to lose it. So one negotiation tactic you can have is you say, listen, I won't do the feed post, but what I'll do is I'll give you like 3 to 5 Instagram stories. And then that way they expire. That way your audience, like they don't have to respond to it. They almost view it naturally. So you almost get these natural analytics versus they'll give you 2 t-shirts and some socks to do a posting on your feed, and you'll get 12 likes where before you used to get maybe a couple of hundred or maybe even thousands. So it's a good way to kind of negotiate that as a tactic.
It's almost like that's what it's become. Feed posts are more organic. Like, this is what I've created, look. And then Instagram stories are more, I'm working with this brand, sponsored kind of thing, or here's a link. And that's a nice thing about the stories too, is like when you are working with a brand, you can directly send your followers to their website, versus with a post, they have to go to that person's page and then go to the or the post will say, go to my stories and find,
Don't give me homework to do. Don't send me on a scavenger hunt.
It's like, it's like homework, but I mean, it's all about,
It's all love.
It's all about, I don't know.
Do your finger clips. Yep.
Anyway.
So this has been fun, actually.
He thinks I play with my hair a lot. Do I? I do.
You don't in person. I think only when you do a selfie story.
Oh, because it becomes very...
Even when you meet a stranger, or even if somebody came up to you right now with a video camera and says, hey, Irina, tell me about it. Like, or if I I'll do like a cameo with you and I'll tell Kyle, keep recording, and you walk into natural reaction. You don't go like, I was like, hey babe, what do you think of this kitchen? You don't go, so basically, you don't do that. You have natural you personality, but it's not until you're physically holding it and you're like,
it's all of a sudden like the pressure is on and the whole dynamic changes for me.
You almost become a different person. That's the way I'm almost phrasing it. Like it's so silly, but
So I just listen to the podcast, and I don't want to do stories of myself.
Yeah. How funny it would be if you started a podcast with basically.
So
you have to stare at the camera though, like eye-beating eyes.
You guys have been asking.
And the speech is slower too.
You know what? I think I start slower is because I don't want to start out, hey guys! That is why I think I actually
That's how I shoot my YouTube video. What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you.
No, I think I see too many people starting off really high, and I think it is...
Hey, that pays the bills, okay?
No, not you. I'm not talking about you.
You hit me back with the arm. I got you with one of those. Don't get offended. And you get the arm on the shoulder. Don't get offended.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking more of the girls I see on Instagram that are very up and at it. And I'm like, sometimes it's like a little bit too much for me. So that's why I try to start out really mellow.
Work them in for it. Don't scare them. Don't scare them.
Yeah, like you gotta
approach them like a deer in a
subdivision. You go really slow and start out really, and then increase.
Rumor has it that's how Hitler used to make speeches, and then he started banging on the.
Cool. Yeah.
Anywho, this has been fun. Hope you guys found this helpful. A lot of these tips kind of helped us create a living out of it.
Something we've learned along the way.
I had fun sharing this. I think this was a cool.
Yeah, that
cool
was fun.
podcast.
We've never really dove into this topic before, so that was fun.
We'll see. Well, we had a topic about my vasectomy, and now we have a topic about Instagram hacks. So, what else?
It's all
is
across
on
the board. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.